Hey everyone, and blessed Beltane. Welcome back to Goddess Theory SN. I wanted to take today to kind of give you an update of where I've been, where I'm at in my magical journey, and why I've been kind of MIA from posting new videos. So first and foremost, I want to apologize for any noise. We are filming outside, so you may hear the neighbors, birds, planes, as the one going overhead now. Give me just a moment. Okay, I think it's far enough away now. This video is also being put up totally 100% unedited, so just bear with me, guys. You know how I roll sometimes. So where has Sally been? So right now, if you are following me on Instagram, anything like that, you'll been seeing all these photos of myself, like selfies that I've been putting on Instagram, my Instagram story. So this week has been my staycation, and I have used the past, I don't know, like 6 days or so, and I have really dived deep into my personal spirituality. I have done so much reading in the past couple days. I am two and a half books in right now, within 6 days. Ooh, pardon me. I went to the Modern Witches Summit. I was able to attend quite a few live sessions, and which was fantastic. And I will be continuing to catch up on some of those pre-recordings for the next couple days as well. Doing things like that has kind of really helped me be able to kind of open up, be more open to different ideas, and not just this plain textbook version of what a witch should be that people tell you, like when you listen to like beginner podcasts or like beginner blogs and those types of things. People are kind of using that strict structure, and are basically like, if you don't follow it this way, you're wrong. So doing little summits and different classes and things like that allow me to kind of see what other people are thinking, so that way I'm not like, okay, hey, I'm not the only one that's thinking outside of that bubble, I guess is the way you can say it. And then earlier this month, I had the pleasure of doing some camping under the full moon. So that was a pretty magical experience for me. So the big significance for this particular night of camping, if you've listened to any of my previous videos, you may have heard me mention Freya when I first first started this path, I should say. And with anything that you do, or if you have been practicing for a while, you may know that sometimes your needs shift, I guess is the best way to kind of say that. And so, although I love Freya, she holds a very beautiful, special place in my heart, I've been feeling very distant from her, very alone, like if I didn't have anything for me, in a way. And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it was sad, because it was kind of like, oh, there's my friend over there enjoying living up life, but we just don't talk anymore, kind of thing. So I had this epiphany type moment, I guess, where I kind of started feeling some different things, noticing some different things, and kind of realized, okay, hey, that is kind of where my mindset is, like my shift, I guess. So the full moon with the fire that we did, I had a very lovely, wonderful bottle of wine, and as I told my husband, kind of the best way of what this meant to me was, it was a basically like a good breakup. And so I was lighting that fire, giving that thanks for everything that has been there, drinking, hey, cheers to the next one you help, bringing in and welcoming in the next stage in my life. So those connections, those things that I feel. And kind of, again, kind of the way I explained it to my husband was not necessarily on the market, but kind of like, I guess like not your about me, but like your about me section changed. And so not necessarily went from, taken to single type thing, because it is a relationship, yes, but I was inviting in the voices that I have been hearing and saying, okay, yeah, come on, this is it, let's do it, let's go out for some tea type of thing, let's see where it takes us. And I'm not disappointed, by all means, not disappointed. So far so good. Everything has been fantastic. And like I said, so I had that whole new moon experience, or not moon, sorry, full moon experience, that whole shift change, that happy goodbye moment, of partying, welcoming, and then also saying goodbye. And then, like I said, you fast forward to now, to my staycation, which is during the new moon. And then I also am going to be doing another camping trip this weekend with that new moon energy, so I'll be able to kind of see what the differences are between that. But like I said, as I kind of been exploring, stepping into this new side of me, I have really started to embrace like the scorpion in me, I guess, that very powerful, fierce energy, that water aspect, that energy. And it sounds weird me saying it out loud, so if I pause or anything like that, just bear with me. This is kind of the first time that I'm explaining it out loud, so I'm kind of going through those thoughts in my head as I'm talking to you guys. But I have been able to take that fierceness from within and put that on the outside. I've been able to embrace her and know what she needs, what she desires, and not feeling ashamed of who she is and who I am, those types of things. And so part of that shift for me that I have been experiencing is, like I said, is stepping into that water side. And so some people may call themselves like a water witch, because you work with water, you do water spells, those types of things. I don't necessarily want to categorize myself as a quote-unquote water witch, but I feel a strong pull to the water's energy, if that makes sense. I kind of started to feel that initial shift, which this is the wild part, probably, I want to say about almost a year ago now, when I went on vacation up to New York last year. We had stopped at this little rest area place, literally didn't even think it was a real thing. We're in the middle of driving through the mountains. He's like, hey, I think that's a rest area. And we basically pulled over and backed into it. It was so small, it wasn't off of a main highway, but it was the cutest little spot. You pulled in, they had a couple picnic benches, some parking spots. There was a bathroom, but then they had steps that walked down to the actual river itself. And if you go back and you watch my vacation video from last year, you'll see the photos of that area. Well, that energy, that raw power just from that river, ever since then, I've just been kind of I need the water. I mean, hence two of my biggest souvenir takeaways last summer were rocks, stones from the water up in the areas that we visited. And then I always find myself thinking about that place, thinking about the beauty in that place, and then the power, the energy, and then the power and the energy of my local spaces that I want to get out into more. Something that I did today, and if you were on my Instagram, you'll see I bought a kiddie pool. So it's a 5-foot kiddie pool, and if I sit in it, the water comes up to here. Not enough to go swimming in, but enough to embrace my quote unquote mermaid energy, as I've been calling it, where I just want to sit in the water and I just want to bake in the sun. As you can see, I kind of have a little sunburn going on, so hopefully maybe I will become tan this year and won't be so white. But that is my way of being able to connect a little bit more to that side of myself when I don't have the access to go to the river in Pennsylvania, or an hour and a half away to the beach, or what have you. And this is kind of my way of connecting, making it magical for myself. Sticking in tune with that like mermaid energy. My oracle cards or my tarot. You guys know that I got that mermaid deck not too long ago, and I have been working very heavily with that as well, and feeling the energies of those cards and the spiritual connection that comes with those. And as I've been working with that deck, it has been able to bring me closer to just nature in general. I have been, as you can see, spent a lot of time just out here underneath the trees in the backyard. We have been going on like little fishing trips where my husband fishes, I sit, I read my books, I admire nature type of thing. Because fishing is fun, but for me it's more so of that nature aspect, trying to connect deeper. And so we've been doing trips like that. I've been trying to amp up my yard space to be able to invite more of like the dragonflies. I am in the process of making a little water bead bath for the bees to have a place to come and get water, because they need it too. Watching the birds, watching the squirrels, like just connecting with my local nature and wildlife here, like in my yard, in my space. But also when I go out in other places, respecting that and connecting and listening. So my nature built aspect of my practice as well has become deeper. And then with that whole, like I said, the transition of energies, it also comes to I'm going to call it my research aspect, because I know the energies I'm feeling, I know what I want to do, but I am not 100% sure, I guess, about the quote unquote like deity aspect. And that is okay. Deity work is not 100% required for anything that you do. And the reason why I'm calling this my research time frame is because I'm also trying to connect on a deeper level with like my ancestry type of work, and that aspect. And the idea that I have is I want to take, like, okay, for instance, like Aphrodite and Venus, that is your Greek, and then you have your Roman version of her, and those are the most popular, like those are what you hear about. So I am looking heavily into like Baltic type mythology, especially rooted more so around Lithuanian culture, because that is where my family comes from. That is where we came from before we came here, and I'm trying to connect to that on a deeper level, to connect ancestry, to know more about who I am, where I come from. But I also want to know like the aspects of for instance, and again, I'm just going to use the Aphrodite Venus because that's the most popular, but I want to know, okay, that's who she is, and I want to know who she is in all these other cultures, which is funny that I'm using this as the example, because one of the classes that I just took was legit about her, was like about Aphrodite, so that's why she's just so like in my head right now, because I literally just took a class on her. But I'm looking more so into, and again, this is the controversial part of everything, and kind of where I'm getting out of what I believe, but kind of that fairy aspect of things as well, for all of you that kind of have a hate relationship with the fae. don't kill me. But kind of my belief right now and how I'm so in tune with like the water and mermaids is because I see mermaids as the fairies of the sea, fairies of the lake, of the river, of the, like, you know, fairies of the water. Like, that is what I believe, that's what I connect with. So not only in the water aspect, but in the nature aspect as well. That's my introduction into that, I guess. So don't shoot me, guys, I'm sorry. And I can tell you, if my best friend's watching right now, sorry. you can tell me about it later. But so that's kind of where I'm at with that. And then kind of how I've quote unquote like categorized myself with this new, well, I don't want to call it new, but newer thought of like archetypal type goddess worship instead of like the traditional triple goddess aspect. So there's this whole concept out there of like archetypal connections, and so you'll like, people will be like, I'm the queen, or I'm the mother, or the mystic, the child, like things like that. And so one term that I kind of came up with for myself, I guess, would be more so the oh my gosh, wild water mystic. I know that's a handful, and like a lot of people call themselves like the wild woman archetype. And so reason why I'm wild water mystic type categorizing for that concept is because my associations with water, that deep connection that I have, I feel, I want, that I'm, you know, that I'm drawn to. Wild, because I'm in that time in my life where I'm embracing it. It is what it is. I am here. This is me. I am falling in love with myself, and whatever comes type of thing. And nobody is going to get in my way, stand in my way, that type of thing. And then mystic, because that is the like magical type of side. So that's the wanting to learn, wanting that knowledge, you know, not just about one particular culture. Like, I want to know it all. I want to know the different ways people do different religions, holidays, those types of things, or like ritual type setups. So even on some of the Discord pages I'm part of, I've been trying to open up the conversation of, what do you do for Beltane? Because Beltane can mean different things to different people. It depends on where you live at. It depends on what your personal beliefs are. For example, when I first started down this path and I was listening to some of the just spiritual podcasts and type things, the people that were the hosts were more so from like a Gardnerian type tradition. I say that because she was in the quote-unquote seeker stage at this time, so I don't know if she ever was fully initiated or those types of things within to that tradition, which is a totally different conversation for another time. But her and her beliefs and what she said her tradition's beliefs were, and what I mess around with my husband with, is that basically Beltane is the penis holiday. It is a sex fertility holiday. The maypole represents the penis type of thing, and that was supposed to represent fertility. And so a lot of people will take that literally to mean, okay, hey, this is a sex holiday, go out, fuck your brains out type of thing. For me, that's not what this holiday is about. And excuse my language. I normally don't talk like this. Sorry. Well, I do, just not to y'all. But to me, this is a fertility holiday for sure. And what it is, but it represents fertility of the earth, the sun, the start of summer, those strong new beginnings, the stepping outside of that comfort zone and growing. Now, do I believe the concept of this can help with fertility in like humans? Sure. You know, who am I to say that if you perform a certain ritual, believe a certain way, that that's not what's going to happen? And that's perfectly 100% okay. My viewpoints of that particular aspect of this holiday have just changed. And so I want to open up the conversation of what do you believe? Because what we do here in Georgia isn't what you're doing in New York, what you're doing in Maine, what you're doing in Australia type of thing. Like, everybody is different. Everybody's climate is different. And I just want to open up that conversation about those types of things. And I just think the whole concept of this year too, like Beltane being kind of a strong astrologically type holiday this year, because it happened to fall in that new moon energy as well. So yes, I still do kind of follow the astrological zodiacs, birth charting, and all that stuff too in my practice. It's kind of here where everything else is kind of here, but I still do it. But anywho, but yeah, going back full circle, that is kind of where I've been, and I'm hoping to get more videos and things out soon. This week, my staycation was just a really good way for me to relax, take the burden off. Like I said, I did a lot of work on myself. I've been feeling a lot of burnout and things like that. So, you know, when you have a lot on your plate and you're getting to that point where you're digging yourself into that hole, sometimes it can be hard to come out. And I'm finding those tools to not do that. But I mean, hey, I'm human. It happens. But oh gosh, whew. I'm so nervous about this video coming out because it's the first time that I have talked about any of this. I tell my husband some things, but some of it I don't. And when I do, he may not necessarily understand, just because he does not practice like I do, and which is totally 100% okay. I've openly talked about how we are a mixed faith family, and that is 100% okay. But sometimes it can be a little hard and a little challenging to be able to express the excitement of things, like getting a kiddie pool for the backyard, or how exciting it was to go camping under the full fucking moon. Like, oh gosh. Anywho, I'm like still like just in awe of that, and it also earned him some brownie points, and he just doesn't know. Well, I think he does, but that's okay. So my goal with this video is to open up the floor, open up the discussion of spirituality, of where we're at, what we're doing. I really would like to build the Discord community, so that way we can talk outside of videos, and kind of go from there. I'd really like to hear from anybody, your thoughts, comments, concerns, questions, love-hate relationship on the Fae. Give it to me. I want to hear from you guys, and thank you so much for listening. My heart is jumping out of my chest right now, so enjoy this hot mess express that is me. Have a good day, guys.